All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. And my name is Judson Powell. All right, hit the like button, subscribe button, all the buttons, notification button, whatever other buttons they got, hit them. All right, here we go. I wanted to talk about all of the police things going on, but here's the thing. I saw while scrolling through the internet this morning, I saw a whole bunch of Caucasian people being arrested. And, people decided they were going to post these videos, and there were like a whole lot of Caucasian people being arrested. One guy stole the police officer's baton, beat the police officer with their own baton, got into the car and stole the police car. And no gun was pulled, no taser was pulled, no nothing, no type of violent, life-threatening interruption took place. There was another guy, and I think they said it was in North Carolina, and so basically he banged, he took his truck, banged into the police car, banged into another car that was in front of him, and then took off with the police officer literally hanging on the side of the car. No gun pulled, no taser pulled, no nothing. They just basically, I don't, and the video wasn't long enough, so I have no idea what eventually happened to the police. I mean, to the police officer that was hanging off of the side of the car. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, but every time one of our guys gets pulled over, it's like they shoot him immediately. There was no like in Dante Wright's thing, and then he had air fresheners around his window. That is not a capital offense. It's not something that he should be killed for. Not something that you should even use deadly force for. You shouldn't even have to pull a gun. Why are you pulling a gun? See, these are the things that need to be changed. Now, let me go back to some of the stuff I was saying yesterday. I was talking about how this stuff is a generational curse. Why? Because they make these police officers fearful and afraid of black men. And the media, all they do is they report, black men, or when they show black men, they show them, they always show them in a negative light. Even after they shoot them. And once they shoot, because basically that's the defense in George Floyd. They're trying to say, oh, he was on drugs, so he had a heart attack. But y'all induced the heart attack. If you stepping on my neck, and the other thing that's very disturbing about the George Floyd case is he basically already had handcuffs on. So he was already handcuffed. So there's no reason, no earthly reason why he should basically have been shot. Even he shouldn't even been tasered. And then they try to say, okay, well, he was uncooperative and he was like, and he wasn't going along with the commands, with the commands that the officer gave him. But that still is no reason to shoot him. Okay, what? And last night I was reminded of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Not sure that that's 100% true. I mean, yeah, somebody could say some stuff to you that will hurt your feelings, but as far as anything else, there's not going. You can call me everything you want in the book, but unless you strike me, then there's nothing lost there. So then we come back to the Kerner report. All the old heads, they'll know what that is. Y'all young heads, y'all won't know what the Kerner report is, but it was a report that said that there were two Americas, one black, restricted, and one white, just basically can go buck wild whenever they want. And we know because and the thing is that they do a lot of this stuff and they lie. The problem is, okay, if you call the police, they always threatening to call the police. And it's like most of the time when they threaten to call the police, they are not in any mortal danger at all. Like like that black guy that was walking down the street. He walking down the street. Y'all saw the video, it went viral. The white boy out there telling them to get out of, you're in the wrong neighborhood. You need to get out from in front of my house and all this kind of stuff, forgetting that sidewalks are public. They're public. And unless he said or did something to threaten the white guy's family or something like that, or went onto his property or anything like that, he's free to do that. It's not illegal to do what he did, but it is illegal for the white boy to push him, and so now he got a couple hundred people on his front lawn. I mean, seriously, he got a couple hundred people on his front lawn protesting basically the discrimination, that black boy went through. So come on, y'all, and so I guess all of that to say this: be diligent. We got right now we got the media on our side. We got we got a lot of large corporations are Will Smith and Antoine Fuqua pulled out of their production in Georgia, where a lot of black shows and television shows and movies and everything else are produced. Basically, they pulled out, and they pulled out because of the discriminatory, voter suppression laws that all these states are trying to put into action. And believe me, y'all, they wouldn't be worried about voter suppression if they knew that they could automatically win. And there have been, and I've been talking about this ever since, and it's a shame, ever since 1983. And I went to Hampton University. Shout out to my Pirates. I went to Hampton University. And the funny thing was that I was looking like Hampton and Newport News, the two cities that basically border on Hampton, right? Or in Hampton or whatever, okay? They have a majority of black people. But when I first went to school in 1980, when I first got there, I was like, why don't y'all have a black mayor? My roommate was from my first roommate was from Hampton. And I was like, why don't y'all have a black mayor? Because in Detroit, we had Coleman Young. And Coleman Young was like, he was like the dude who was like mayor for life. He was like Marion Barry is in D.C. He was mayor for life. He was a black man. And so I could, and all of the people on the city council and state representatives, not so much in the Upper Peninsula or the upper part of the state, but in the lower part of the state, everybody was black. Everybody that was governing, the city was black. And they was from the hood. We knew them. We knew who they were. They was around. You go in the drugstore, you see them. You go, and so I could never understand. Like why these cities didn't have black people. The same thing in North Carolina. You had Jesse Helms. Jesse Helms held his congressional seat in a district that had more black people than it had white people. How does he hold his position? And I'm not saying it should have been done on racial lines. I mean, the best person for the job, but he was never the best person for the job. He was an overt racist. He was a racist, plain and simple. And the same thing, you go to Strom Thurmond, all these people are dead now, but they held political office for like 40, 50 years. And we never voted them out. Just like in Georgia, Kemp, if they wouldn't have hid ballots and did all the BS they did, Kemp in Georgia would not be the governor of Georgia. Stacey Abrams should be the governor of Georgia right now. And y'all need to be organizing and doing everything y'all can to make sure that the next time there's a gubernatorial election, that she is if she runs, that she is the governor of Georgia. What I'm saying is, be diligent, organize, keep moving. Don't accept, the partial victories that we already have. We can't just accept the partial victories that we have and then shut the whole thing down. There are going to be Senate, congressional and Senate elections in the midterm coming up in less than 2 years. And we need to stay diligent and be ready. And all of those people who have come out against, who have come out with racist agendas and have come out against us, we need to get them out of there. And all of this, and all of that other stuff that they talking, they nothing but bots. They putting bots on the internet to make you change your mind about voting for black people. Or they get somebody like a Herschel Walker, like a Candace Owens, which I mentioned yesterday. They get those people. Why? So that you get a certain amount of what we consider, conservative black folks, or what some people call coons, in order to sway black people to vote that way. Like voting and the whole thing with the religion thing, that's blowing up in their face too. Because if you really if you really religious and you believe in certain religions, let's put it out there, Christianity or whatever, then there's no way in the world that what you're doing complies with your religion. And also the assumption is that the people on the left side of the aisle don't have any religion and they're just wild and crazy and la. Like they don't look. Black folks go to church more than anybody. Proven. Black folks go to church and to the mosque. We are very religious. A lot of us are not spiritual, but a lot of us are religious. So, we gotta rally, and that's the other thing. How can they use that as a rallying point when there is a clause in the Constitution that says that that there is no religion, there is no established religion for the United States, and also the separation of church and state. And they throw rhetoric out there to change that around and act like, oh, well, we have all the family values. Like we don't have family values. Like we don't love our families. Like we don't care about our families or whatever. Y'all don't think that we care about all of these young men and young women that are being killed by police brutality and being destroyed by the police, cut out in the middle or in the beginning of their lives. I mean, Dante Wright was 20 years old, y'all. And I wrote on Facebook, it's personal. This is personal. I got 3 sons. I don't want my sons pulled over and killed for some bullshit. Excuse my French. Parlez-vous français? Right? I mean, I just wanted to say it that way so that it would, it would bring emphasis. I don't want my daughter killed while she in the bed asleep. I got 4 daughters. I don't want none of my daughters killed while they in the bed asleep by a police officer that busts into the thing and then all of a sudden they scared everybody. How you scared of a person laying down in a bed sleep? Breonna Taylor. I'm gonna say her name because y'all, there was no justice. There's been no justice for her. There's been no justice for her. And then they wrongly went after her boyfriend. They didn't know that brother. They didn't know what that brother did. And then still he's walking and breathing and she's dead by mistake because they made a mistake. And they always making mistakes. But it's okay when you make a mistake and the person is not Caucasian. Let's not fall for the okie doke. Let's not fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Let's not fall for the sugar in the gas tank. We got to wake up and stay diligent about this. Anyway, fastest 15 minutes is up. My name is Judson Powell. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons, but make sure that you hit the love button. Love one another, y'all. Stop hating on each other. Love one another.